Hello, hello, hello. Oh, let me get this iPad up here. Okay, oops, that's a client project I was working on. Where on earth did Stream go? There we go. Stream. Let's do a canvas 11 by 8.5. And I don't typically just do the first thing somebody suggests, but I like that idea as a warm-up sketch, actually, Spy versus Spy. So I might just do that. It's a nice, easy black and white warm-up sketch. I have a reference picture pulled up right here on the side. Let me see if I can... Let me put that on the screen. I basically want to draw the reference picture, but in my style, as like a warm-up. I think that would be fun. So, let's get that on the screen. I'm trying to actually make my stream decent, which is funny because I'm leaving for the next month on vacation. But when I get back, I'm like, I've been streaming long enough, I'm comfortable in front of the camera, I kind of know what I'm doing. I'd like to get better at it, and getting better at streaming means doing things like having the picture on screen of what you're drawing. I think that makes it a little better. So we'll just stick that right up there. There we go. And as we wait for people to file in here, I will do this as my warm-up. And I'm kind of just doing whatever. This is my last stream for the next month and a half, something like that, because I'll be on vacation in the UK. And I don't have a return date yet, but it's looking like mid-April. But I definitely want to take the week or two off after that to, like, get back to reality. And hello, how are you doing? Let me do a rough, sketchy brush just to work it out. And let me get this reference over here, nice and big for me to see. Let me just think about the shapes of these guys real quick. So we've got, like, I really want to exaggerate. We got down pointing triangle. We've got this kind of shape. We've got this shape going on with the hat. I want to really push it. And they're kind of mirrored, except for the hands are different. Like what they're holding on their back and all that is different. But the front part of the body. I did draw a cat from Pegging Cat actually last week. At the end of the stream, let me show you. I did. I loved drawing this character. This character is so cute. So I'll leave that on the screen for long enough for you to see it. It's on my Instagram, and I think I posted on Twitter as well, but it's definitely on my Alyssa Aaron Art Streams Instagram account if you want to save it or share it with anybody else who's a fan of Pegging Cat. But I did that last week at the end of the stream, so I was excited to share that. And hello, how are you doing? Let me figure out how tall I want to make the hat. Something like that. Yeah, I loved working on that. It came together really quickly, too. I think I did all three of those in, like, 20 minutes or something. It just, like, popped out. Well, what do you have here? I don't know. Long time no see from you. It's so cute. Thank you. I really loved working on that one. It was really fun. I loved working on everything last week, actually. It was, I can't remember the name of this character, I'm so sorry. But this character was very cute and fun to work on. I have a horrible memory for these, like, kids show character names. And then I did this chicken in a T-Rex costume that I thought came out really well, too. So I just had it was just banger after banger last week. And how are we all doing on this fine weekend? My last one before I go to the UK for a month or so. And I'm having a day. I'm like, I want to do a stream before I leave. And I was like, oh, I could push it till tomorrow. But I'm going to, like, a little party tomorrow, like a cabaret thing. Is that a rat that you drew? What are you talking about? I only see one rat here. That's not anything I'm drawing. This is not a rat. This is Spy versus Spy. You were not feeling good last week, so you must have missed it. That's okay. It was kind of late if you're in a... I don't know what time zone you're in. I forget who's from where in the stream, but I know there's a couple people that are in the UK, and it was pretty late. At like, it would have been like 2:30 in the morning or something, so... There's a few people that have come in here that are like kid show fans, and request cute kid show characters, and I don't know if they're all friends with each other or just a couple of them are, but I know at least a couple of them are in the UK, so it was pretty late. I don't blame you at all. You saw a rat in the big list that you had up? Why? List of what? You mean my, like, the list of requests I do? I'm sure there's a rat in there somewhere. If there's not, there should be. There was a rat for the Halloween picture I did. There's a couple rats. I want to exaggerate this eye, make this eyebrow really pointy and devious. Okay, why is she being cheeky? Oh, you're in Canada. Okay, so you're probably the same time zone as me, more or less. I'm in Chicago, so it is 6:37 p.m. for me now. And it's been a day of, I think I was on a train of thought of, like, I was like, oh, I should push my stream off till tomorrow, but I've got something to do tomorrow. It's like, I gotta do it today. It's like now or never, because I'm gonna be gone next week. So I'm like, let me just have some fun doodling some stuff for a couple hours. And then I was on a mission to finish all of my freelance work, and I've gotten through most of it. I have one more project I still have to do. And then I'm waiting on feedback from somebody for one other, but it's like, can these people just let me finish my to-do list so I can just do absolutely nothing for the next few days before my flight? Oh, there's been many rats. I see one big one in chat. 7:30. Okay, so you're like East Coast time. That's what it's like where I'm from in Michigan. Michigan's basically Canada anyway. I know there's people from all over the world that come watch the stream. When I get like a whopping audience of like 5 or 10 people, like 2 or 3 of them will say like, oh, I'm from Australia, I'm from the UK, you know, whatever. It's like, wow. You never know who will show up in your stream. I was told it was a beautiful day today, but I didn't get outside, so I was informed. I think my dad texted me and said, like, oh, hope you got out in the beautiful weather today. I don't think I even responded to that. I just said something else, because I'm like, he doesn't need to know I've been at my computer all day. I'm sure he's watching and listening right now anyway. But I gotta get this stuff done, you know? My bags are packed. I have all my stuff. I have my ETA for travel. I have my passport. I have my bag packed. I have everything completely ready, but it's just getting the client work done now. It's the last piece of the puzzle. I've eaten through all the perishable food in my pantry. It's all canned stuff now, so I can excuse getting fast food every day, you know? You know, all the important stuff is dealt with. It's just this last little hurdle. Are you drawing one of those Victorian era doctors? You mean a plague doctor? No, but I think maybe that's what they're inspired by. You never seen Spy vs. Spy? It's like a Mad TV thing. Working with some cute diner girlies based on ice cream. Got any recommendations for flavors? The main trio should probably be, like, well, I don't know how many characters you're doing. Because I think, like, there's, like, a core trio of, like, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. Because I think of, like, Blossom, Buttercup, Bubbles. But then you get the cool side characters, like Mint Chocolate Chip. You get, like, a Rocky Road, who's, like, maybe a little more rough and tumble. Let me think. Superman ice cream? I don't know if you have that in Canada. But that's, like, a Michigan classic. Where it's, like, red, yellow, and blue. It looks kind of like the Play-Doh stuff from the movie Hook. Very cute color combo. Oh, a lot. Blue Moon would be cute for a character. That's just the blue part from Superman. Moose Tracks. I'm just naming all these, like, flavors that I think are regional to Michigan or, like, that area. But those are the flavors I think of. I think. I'm trying to think of unique ice cream flavors. Or you could, like, if you don't want to do basic strawberry, you could do, like, strawberry cheesecake, or, like, for vanilla you could do cookie dough. Or you could add them to the main cast if you're doing lots and lots of flavors and characters. There's a lot of options. And you can do a lot with how you design the characters. Like if you're doing cookie dough, you can either make their outfit cookie dough inspired, or maybe like they have little freckles that look kind of like the little chocolate chips, or like there's a lot of ways you can incorporate those flavor elements into the look. You can get really creative with it. As a Chicagoan, what do you say to the rumors that people in the UK have ketchup with hot dogs? I think it's disgusting, and I don't think people should do that. But you're also asking a vegan who doesn't eat actual hot dogs. So I will say, like, I'm not a native Chicagoan, and I think the Chicago hot dog is a disgrace to hot dogs. I don't eat meat, but when I did, the Coney dogs in Michigan are far superior. Far superior. It's not even close. You got bubblegum. Ooh, bubblegum's a good idea. Tiger tail? I don't know what that is. What's tiger tail? Is that like a regional flavor? Neapolitan, vanilla, cookie dough, mint chip, birthday cake. Birthday cake's a good one too. What's tiger tail? Because I think of bear claw and moose tracks are like the animal ones that I can think of. Moose tracks is so good with the little peanut butter cups in it. That's good stuff. Not that they've released a vegan version that I've seen anywhere, but I did find a vegan Blue Moon forever ago in Michigan somewhere, some specialty place, but it was like $13 for a pint, like a Ben & Jerry's size pint, which I thought was a little ridiculous, but it was a nice treat. But at least these days they make pretty decent vegan ice cream anymore, so I'm not struggling without, you know. I like the So Delicious brand stuff, and Ben & Jerry's does some good stuff. It would be nice if you drew both Pibby and Bun Bun. I don't know who that is, but I'll write it on a new layer so I don't forget. Pibby and Bun Bun. I do not know these men, but I will Google them and figure that out. I don't know if they're men or boys or girls or women or animals or aliens. I don't know what those are, but I will look them up. A stack of onions and no ketchup is a very questionable way to serve it. It's not a stack of onions. You make it sound like one of those towers they make at like the hibachi grill where they make it a volcano. It's meat chili for the Coney. It's meat, chili sauce, mustard, and onions, but like diced onions. It's good. It's good stuff. I was gonna swear just then, and I'm like, wait, this isn't all audiences, kid friendly. I don't think anybody would mind, but you know, I keep it friendly for the kids because usually my young niece is watching. I have to be a good role model. Alright, I kind of want to push these shapes a little more, but I think I've exaggerated them a little bit. It's not completely copying the ref. I kind of want to bend these knees a little bit. I want to add more square. I feel like there's a lot of round, which is just me following what I'm seeing. But I kind of want to add in more angles. Because you know me, I'm into the rounded rectangle shapes wherever I can fit them and they make kind of sense. I think that looks okay. I just want lots of sharp points. I think it looks cool. That's the only reason you need to do anything with art, is just because you think it looks cool. It's fine. I gotta add the little ends to the dynamite. I'm just gonna do 3 because I think it looks better. A little cleaner. And then I think I'll do it like that. Just make it a little bit different. And push him away from the edge. Oops. There we go. Antonio Prohius' work. I'm assuming that's the artist behind this. I wasn't familiar with the name. But if so, I'm also a fan of his work. Pibby is a character who is female, Bun Bun is male, and Pibby's BFF think of them as being like Dora and Boots. They originate from the viral Adult Swim short film Learning with Pibby. I've never heard of that. The rounded rectangle is Girls in Independence. You taking the mickey out of me. You extracting the Michael. I just like the shapes I like, okay? I'm trying not to copy exactly what I see and just copy like 90% of what I see. It's a good exercise though. And here I am saying it was going to be a warm-up and I'm taking like a decent amount of time on it. Alright. Now I'm going to halfway cheat. Don't panic. I'm not going to straight up copy. Don't panic. No panicking now. Don't panic. But this gives me a good idea. Oh, the feet are so close together, though. What can I do about that? Okay, I gotta push the feet back. Okay. Because overall the shape is the same. I'm not just gonna copy and paste. But I'll trace over top of it. You know, so the shapes and everything are proportionate. Okay, we don't want the feet overlapping. They should be right up against each other. So the toes end right where the brow ends. Ooh, I need the brow to stick out more then. So like, okay, the brow needs to come to here. So we're just gonna shift all of this forward to like there. And then bend the rest of this to make it fit. And make this bottom part of the sleeve a little bit bigger as well. I noticed that now, that the bottom part of the sleeve is a little wider. There we go. That's better. Okay. And then we can get rid of this. Sorry for this noise in the mic. Duplicate. Okay, we want the brows about touching. Okay. Then, okay, it's not perfect, but we're not trying to exactly match the reference anyway, so I want to bring this back up here. And then let me lower the opacity on this one and figure out what needs to be changed. So these hands need to extend a little bit more forward, like this, right about here. Yeah, it's a little further than the tip of the nose. And here we go. Hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell button for me to disappear for the next month. Yeah. What was it you said about making the girls like a group? Because I like that idea. Thank you so much. Oh, I like the idea of having like a core group, kind of like, you know, the Powerpuff Girls. There's Buttercup, Blossom, and Bubbles, like the main trio. So you could do the main trio as like the core flavors, so like a chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. But you could make them more interesting flavors if you like. But I think that's kind of a fun idea to have like the main group and then have like side characters. I think that's kind of fun. But let your imagination go wild. It doesn't have to be chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. It can be like a duo. It can be a group of 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, like a boy band group or a girl group, you know? It can be any, but I think it would be cool to have like the main group and then like side characters. That's just how I would approach it if I had the task of doing ice cream diner girl character designs. Okay. Let's do, is this a new layer? Okay, good. Should be. Do a thumb like that. Now the fingers on this ref are a little crazy looking. I'm just going to make them rectangles. It's like the line width gets a little weird on that part of the picture, but whatever. We'll do that. Rectangles. And then this can all stay the same. As far as the shape of this, I want to make it a little bit different because I don't want it to look like it's copy and pasted and mirrored. Just changing slightly the bend of the leg and stuff I think works. Just so it's not completely identical. Like that. Just redrawing it, basically. Let's see. It's very popular and follows Pippi as she succumbs to a glitchy apocalypse and has to gather survivors from across the Toon multiverse. It was made by Dodge Greenly, known for Sanjay and Craig. No, I have not. I have not seen Pibby and I already. This is how bad I am at name. Pibby and Bun Bun. I could be in the middle of drawing a character from somebody's request and I immediately forget the name of the character. It's really bad. But that sounds cool. I like a good Adult Swim short. I'll have to check that out. I've been out of the loop with like new animation and stuff for a while. It's kind of sad. I just don't watch much. And I'm very sad, RIP, to Smiling Friends, calling it quits after 3 seasons. R.I.P. After they just got greenlit for seasons 4 and 5 too, and like, you know, I don't blame the creators for wanting to call it quits when they've had it. Like, they just don't want to do it anymore. That's fine. Don't get burned out on your project. But I feel sad for the animators who are gonna have to find work now when it's harder than ever to find animation industry work. I feel bad for them. But R.I.P. Smiling Friends. Love that show. Let's see. Got like ice cream, like hair silhouettes. Oh, that's cute. Like a soft serve swirl, curly stuff. Or you could do big puffy like space buns with like a scoop on one side, scoop on the other, and you could do toppings for like little bow hair charms. Like, what's her name? Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph, where she's got like the candy charms in her hair. That'd be cute. Despite winning multiple awards and having a whole April Fool's takeover, but didn't end up getting picked up for a full series. Oh, Pibby and Bun Bun didn't get picked up? Dang. That stinks. There's a lot of really talented creators who make stuff. Like animators, artists, whatever, and it just... They have a whole vision for a whole world with it, and it just never comes to pass. Despite people loving it. It's a shame, but I hope it gets a chance someday. Space buns. Yeah, like the big... poofy. I don't know if you're going for like retro hairstyles though with the diner theme, but you can have fun with it. I'm trying to think of like old school hairstyles that could be cute with like ice cream shapes too. You can get really funky with it. Oh, are you saying you're doing space buns? Sorry, you just said space buns, so I'm trying to think, are you replying to my suggestion, or if you're doing space buns for your characters, because I think that's a cute idea. Alright. And then I want to make sure the hat... Ooh, here's where I messed up. The hat shouldn't, like, go into the body like that. It completely messes up the silhouette. It just looks like this big chunk. So I'm going to have to lift it off the body a little bit. Let's do that. Add a little bit of a bend to the back here. It's Come Learn with Pibby. That's what the name is for the short. Okay, gotcha. I'm sure if I typed in Pibby Adult Swim, I'd find it. You love working with classic hairstyles. Nice. I like the... I don't know what kind of style it would be, but I'll just sketch really quick when I'm thinking. Like, I like when there was a really solid roll, like a hair roller of hair in the front. And then maybe like some cute little tight bun in the back. Maybe a little piece of hair in the front. But like this could be a couple scoops of ice cream in the front. And then another scoop in the back, maybe. She's got little chocolate chip freckles. I don't know. Just doodling for the sake of doodling, but... There we go. It's a very rushed face, but I like those kind of old school, like pin-up-y, where the bangs are really full and voluminous and big. You could do that with like scoops of ice cream or something. Or you could do it with, like, cotton candy, if you're doing, like, bubble gum, and then you do, like, I don't know, cotton candy, candy floss, whatever. There's a lot of possibilities for that. Food stuff is fun to draw. It gives you an idea for cookie dough. Oh, good. I'm glad it's inspiring you. Alright, and then this shape needs to come off the back as well. So it's just like a solid, pointy thing of black. Okay. Now, let's draw over top of all this. Just search up Bun Bun and Pibby for reference images. I will after I draw this. I'm almost done. I'm just going to outline everything. After I lower the opacity of that, let me get rid of the dynamite on this one so it's not so confusing. Bun Bun. Bun Bun and Pibby. Okay, alright, dry ink. It should come together pretty quickly. It's black and white. No color required. Perfect first request to start out. And it is kind of just copying the reference, but I feel like I added my own little something to it, my own little flavor to it. It's not an exact carbon copy. It's good study, I guess. Study with style. And it's just fun. Pibby image, is that the term to search? I'm sure I'll find it. Google will come to the rescue. And I overshot. Okay, here, better idea. Instead of hiding and unhiding the layer a million times, how about I just lower the opacity? Think with your brain. Okay. There we go. How do you remember and stay current with your style color-wise? I kind of don't think about it for color. I do have some saved color palettes. This one that says palette from Image was one I was working on for like colors that work with the branding I use on my website, which is kind of retro cereal box inspired. So I have these like dark greens, reds, a couple golds. I wanted like one of every color, so I have like a red, a yellow, a blue that all kind of go together. I don't know if I'm crazy about it, but I'll do some testing with it. And then I also have this these palettes called Muppet Cool and Muppet Warm. There was this picture, I'm sure if you Google what I'm about to say, you'll find it, where somebody said, you don't need to do color theory anymore, you just need to sample colors from this picture of the Muppets. And it was this photo of the Muppets from like the 70s or 80s or something, and all the colors were very vivid and warm, but also not, wow, bright, shocking, super saturated colors. So I sampled a bunch of colors from the photo, and they're actually really good color palettes. So I do dip into these Muppet color palettes a lot. Because I don't really have one of my own. See how much more muted the one I'm doing on the top is? Of like my own brand colors? I feel like the Muppet colors are better. So I don't know. But I don't always go for that. Sometimes I just pick what color looks and feels good at the time. And go from there. And your style evolves over time anyway. Like, I'll have a phase where I'm really into yellow or whatever. And then now I'm really into, I like green lately. It's just whatever feels right. But if you want to treat yourself like a brand, if you're trying to like grow a following or make a project, like a cohesive, like a show or a comic or something that you want to look like one consistent thing, I would work on getting a consistent color palette down, whatever that looks like, and then you just stick to those colors for that project. So it all looks like harmonious and part of the same world. Or if you're working on an artist portfolio, that kind of thing, branding's useful for. You want to have a visual identity, which is something I need to work on in this new year. I have a retro-inspired thing going on my website, but I need to completely overhaul my portfolio, so I'm one to talk. And when you're coloring your pieces, how do you get that lineless look? So you'll see my process in the next piece, but basically what I do is a bunch of layers. I use the dry ink brush because I like the texture it leaves on the edge, though I might try this stream. What was I using last week that I really liked? Oh, this one where it's got a rough edge, but the color fills are actually solid and not... So I'll show you, hold on. There's a problem with like, here I'll do a circle with this one, fill it. See how it fills it in and there's no weird little gaps? When I do dry ink usually, there's gaps right here that I need to draw over again, which is very irritating. But I love how this looks on the border with the little bits of white peeking through. So what I might do is do my shapes with this first brush and then just outline the edges with dry ink to make it, I don't know. But basically what I do is like, just do a bunch of layers like that. So say I want to draw, I don't know, pumpkin. Here's an orange, oh, it's garish on the gray, sorry. But I'll do, you know, here's one layer. Boom. And then here's another layer. It looks bad, whatever, it's an example. Boom. And sometimes I'll do stuff on the same layer if it's far apart, like this stem isn't touching this face. This is way too much effort for a demo, but I want to give an example because nobody's asked this yet, I don't think, in a while. So I want to give an example. So say I have these layers, right? And then I want to add some more color and texture. So I do this Nico Roll brush, which is a nice default Procreate brush I love very much. And maybe I want to add a little yellow tint to the top and some red to the bottom. But how I can do this without coloring outside the lines, if you didn't know, is every drawing app will have something like this effect. In Procreate, it's called Alpha Lock. I don't know what it's called in other apps, but Alpha Lock, toggle it on and on, you can see the background of the layer gets like the checkerboard pattern, and that's how you know it's locked. And when it's locked, you can't color outside the lines. So you can do all kinds of fun, funky stuff within the borders of those layers. It's easy as that. And I'll usually do that on top of a sketch of something. So maybe if I wanted to do a sketch of this girl over here, you know, I'd think about, okay, the first layer would be her skin. And so I do a layer that's like this. And then the next layer is her hair. So I'd do a layer on top that's like this part of the hair. And I go, well, I need one that's in between this and this. So I do one that's like this, you know, and so on and so forth. But that's basically the process of getting the lineless look. You start with a sketch. Sometimes you can't see what you're doing, so you need to lower the opacity of the color layers so you can get the shape right. But that's basically the process in a nutshell. So I hope that helps. I'm going to delete all these now. Oops. And get back to finishing this piece. But I hope that was helpful for someone. Now I kind of just want to use that rough brush for everything and forget dry ink, but I've already started dry ink brush on this piece. I do like it. I like the little imperfections with the little white peeking through. I just think it looks good. And you can get really crisp lines with it. Love it, especially if you use the eraser to like chisel those edges. You can get really sharp edges, which I really like. Thank you. No, don't be so. I didn't have to do that. I chose to do that to demonstrate because I wanted to give a visual example. And it only takes 2 seconds to delete them. No biggie. Let's hide that so I can see what I'm doing here real quick. We're gonna do 3 fingers. I'll do 4 because I don't want to redo all the other hands. So we'll do 4 fingers. We'll do it correctly. And real quick, I want to figure out this hand on a new layer. That. Oops. When would you use the Bonobo chalk brush? One sec, I'll show you an example. I like it because it adds a really nice soft texture color. And it used to be a default Procreate brush, but I think you have to go online and download it now from like sites that archive the old default Procreate brushes. But it used to be Procreate. I'll show an example real quick. Just do a big shape. Doesn't matter. And then alpha lock that shape. And then say I want to add a nice soft touch. Like I want to add some highlight, but I don't want it to be like cell shading or whatever. I just like how smooth. You can make it a really smooth gradient like that, or you can do more pinpointed and targeted with a smaller brush and just do a shadow and make it a little bit harsher, but see how it keeps that softness even when it's like tight. It just fades into the next color really well. I like it a lot. And you can almost do like an impressionism effect with like layers of color with it if you get really funky with it. So I'm just going to do a bunch of layers of different colors of orange. And maybe, you know, so it's the same saturation level. This orange is this saturated, so let's just shift it to green. Add a little green in there. Shift it to blue, add a little blue in there, like in the shaded, like the shadow areas. So you get kind of like a cooling effect. I don't know. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with that. But it's kind of like an impressionist painting when you zoom in and see all these billions of colors, and it's just a couple swoops with the chalk brush. And it looks so pretty. It looks like it's got a blue light bouncing off the bottom of it, kind of, when you zoom out. And it just took 2 seconds. I just love it. I love brushes that make you work smarter, not harder. Make the designs look accurate to the trailer's original art style. Makes a world of difference. I don't know what you're referring to specifically, but I do love the chalk brush. I love it. It adds warmth and texture. It's very easy to use. It makes it look like you worked really hard on something. That's my whole MO with like the brushes I choose, is like what makes it look like I know what I'm doing. Like I do. I know how to draw, like, but anything that makes you look more skilled than you are. My favorite kind of brush. That's why I love drawing in Adobe Animate so much. The smoothing effect. Whoa, this hand is like janky. What did I do? How do I fix this? Let me move these fingers closer to where it could be feasible to actually be grabbing the hand there. Okay, he's just got very long hands. We're just dealing with that. I'm not going to agonize over that. I forget what I was even saying, but... Oh, the freehand drawing brush in Adobe Animate, that the way it smooths makes you look like a line art expert. It makes your line art look so crisp. I used to do a lot more like Neopets fan art, and I would try to emulate kind of the style of the actual website, and I would get those lines nice and crispy by using that smoothing on Adobe Animate. And people would always ask, like, what's your secret? It's like literally just use a brush that makes you look like you know what you're doing. It stabilizes just enough to get a smoothing effect, but not so much that it takes all your personality out of the choices you're making with your stroke. That's why if you notice there isn't like an auto smoothing on this brush. I don't think it auto stabilizes, does it? No, but this one does. Oops. This one has like a smoothness to it. You can kind of see it. But I like keeping the character of the stroke the way I would draw it if it was traditional. The smooth does have its time and place, though. Like when you want stuff to look really crispy. Use those digital tools to your advantage. They're there for a reason. It's not cheating. It's just whatever look you're going for. Whatever feels right. This is all going to be in solid black, so I don't know why. Why did I agonize about hello? This line, it's all going to be solid black on this one. Like, what was I thinking? Anyway. I did not need to spend literally any time doing that. Alright, this part is white. This part, just make the cutout obvious at the top. I don't want any white showing behind there, that's annoying, so I'm just going to hide that. Thank you so much, Artist Gatekeep, this kind of thing I love. Yeah, I don't believe in gatekeeping at all. If I figure out a way to just upload my toolbox of brushes that I use to like a package file or zip file or something, I'll figure out how to do it and throw it on my website. So when people ask what brushes I use, I can just put a zip file on my site with a list of the brushes I use, what I use them for, or links to download the ones that are paid, because I'm not going to give away the ones that are like somebody else made them and is selling them. I'll put a link or something. I'll figure out a way to do that, to make a zip file that explains the process of using each brush, what it's good for, and where you can get it. 99% of the brushes I use are just default Procreate ones, though. It's just, I have like 2 or 3 go-tos that are from paid sets. But I will download an entire brush set for one brush, and I have no shame about it. Oh, this guy's smiling too. I gotta change his face. So I love these guys too, because sometimes a character is cool just because they look cool. You know? Not everything has to be easy to... what did I see today that upset me? On Twitter, somebody was talking about how cartoons these days tend to lack a little bit more personality and character design because the shows are designed to be puppet rigged from the start, so you want very symmetrical, clean character designs, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of really beautiful, great looking shows. Oh, it says error, YouTube is not responding. Am I still live? Okay, looks like I am. Okay, well, until my stream stops, I think I'm good. Anyway, a nice, clean, symmetrical, easy to animate look is not a bad thing. There's a lot of beautiful shows that do that. But it's nice when you don't have to adhere to that. When you can just make cool, funky, interesting character designs that are asymmetrical and a little weird and wear different outfits every episode and have funky, crazy hairstyles and stuff that isn't so easy to just set to a skeleton rig and then do that. So it's a little limiting. you just bought the Jing Sketch set and love them, they're really good brushes. I used to have a referral code. I think I could still get one if I like dug in my emails and find it. But I need to do that and then put that in the description of my videos. And start making $5 every time somebody downloads them, because I literally love that brush set. It's really good. They're really, really, really good brushes. Highly recommend. But there was 1 month on YouTube when I actually used to make videos and like put effort into them way back in the day, where I made more money selling I was making money doing Redbubble, selling like Animal Crossing stuff, which I still do. But I don't make as much money. I made 37 cents today because somebody bought a sticker. But I was making decent money from selling Redbubble Animal Crossing stuff. But there was 1 month where I made more money off the Jing Sketch brush set referrals just because there was one video where I mentioned using it, and for some reason people went crazy and used the referral code. I think I made like $150 that month off people just, and it was like $5 or $6 each that I made off of the referral code. I'm like, dang. So I don't know why I ever stopped doing that. I gotta get back on it. I haven't made a red cent off of this streaming at all. It's just, this whole experience has been me getting used to being comfortable in front of the camera and learning OBS and stuff. I keep saying, this is my year, I'm actually going to get good at streaming, but maybe it is really this year. I don't know. We'll see when I get back from the UK. But it's been valuable experience and a lot of fun, and I love a lot of the requests I do. I get some really interesting ones. Stuff I would never think to draw myself. Like, would I ever think to just sit down and draw Spy vs. Spy? No, but I'm really liking it. I really loved drawing Cat from Peg and Cat last week. That was so much fun. You love my Animal Crossing series? Thank you. I wish I could redo them in like my new style. I think I could do them better now, but I don't want to take on a huge project undertaking like that again. I started and never finished the original 151 Pokemon series. I might still tackle that. Might being the key word. But that project started and ended on an iPad that ended up getting destroyed, and I just didn't have it in me to carry on. So I just didn't. See, this is annoying. See, this is why I didn't want to use the dry ink. Why do I do this to myself? Clean it up, clean it up. I feel like I'm just talking about nothing most of the stream, but I feel that way every stream, and everybody seems to be okay with it, so it's fine. Yeah, the Animal Crossing series was fun. I would do everything so much differently. When I made those YouTube videos, what's funny is when I made YouTube videos and I was on camera in videos, I was the most self-conscious I've ever been in my whole life during that. Like, I would redo takes because, like, a hair was, like this. It's like, oh, ew, you can see my scalp, and I would, like, reset up the whole thing, and, like, oh my gosh, it was horrible. I don't know why I was so in my own head about that. Like, literally nobody cares. But now I'll just show up and do a stream. I do, like, a very quick makeup and then go on stream, and it's like, well, it is what it is. If I look bald, what are you gonna do about it? Arrest me? Like, who cares? I don't care. You need an orca? Ooh, orcas are cute. I'm gonna do, this other request first after I do these. These guys are almost done. But if I have time, I'd love to draw an orca. These guys are just about finished here. But yeah, I was super self-conscious during that time when I was making YouTube videos, and I thought making YouTube videos would help me with self-esteem, but it made it so much worse. And I've completely done a 180 in the many years since, so it's good. But I wanted to do something creative and, you know, challenging, and it was the pandemic. I didn't have much work coming in. So it just felt right to do YouTube. And I'm glad I did. It got me out of my shell a little bit eventually. As far as, like, being comfortable with my face in video, being online. I'm just way more comfortable with it now. What's my favorite Pokemon? Snorlax. Easy. Boring answer, but that's my boy. Love Snorlax. What's your favorite? Everybody in chat, drop your favorite Pokemon right now. Lurkers, everyone. Drop that favorite Pokemon in chat. I got so disappointed. That was the last Pokemon game I played was, I can't remember which one. They all blend into the same game for me after X and Y. But whatever the one was where they're like English Pokemon and there's no Snorlax, it made me so mad. Because that's usually my strat, is I find Snorlax, and he's my main guy. He gets to level 100 before everybody else, and he just demolishes everything in his path. And then I just go around and I collect the cutest Pokemon. That's how I played the game. That is the correct way to play the game, in my opinion. But I was so mad that this last game, or I don't know how many games ago it was now, I'm sure a Pokemon fan could tell me, but it was one of the games that did not have Snorlax in it. It made me so mad. Like, what do you mean you did a Pokemon game without Snorlax? That's like doing a Pokemon game with no Pikachu. Like, you're out of your mind. No Eevee. Why even sell it? Don't even ship it. That should be considered a game-breaking bug to not have Snorlax in a Pokemon game. It's crazy. Your legendary favorite is Mewtwo, but your favorite is Whimsicott. Both very excellent choices. Yes, fine choices. I'm like swirling a Pokemon around in a glass. Yes, fine choices. Mewtwo's goated. You don't have a favorite Pokemon? That's okay. Thank you for answering anyway. I'm not like a Pokemon mega fan, but every once in a while I'll get the itch to play one of them. You know, it's fun. But I was too mad about them not having Snorlax in that game that I haven't touched one since, literally. I don't have it in me. Just so excited, like, oh, let me Google where to find Snorlax in this game, and it's like, this game doesn't have Snorlax. What? Why? Why would they do that to me personally? Shaken, not stirred, exactly. Yes. A fine year of Pokemon. Oh, I'm not crazy about the line width. I'm so picky about... I want the line widths to feel right. I think it's overall okay. I gotta fill in the bomb on the right there, but otherwise I think it's okay. It's not bad. I feel like this line needs to be a little bit thicker. This point needs to be a little pointier. I'll use the eraser to make it really sharp. And then I'll make the background actually white and not gray. I was just doing that to avoid lighting my face with scary lighting. Do I like orcas? Yeah, I used to have this really... I don't know what happened to it. I think I lost it in one of my many moves. But I used to have this really cute sweater that had a little orca on it. And I think it just said SeaWorld or something. I thrifted it. I don't know what it said on it. It just said California or SeaWorld or something on it. But it had a really cute embroidered orca, mother and baby on it. Like, as a patch in the middle, right there. And some guy, I was going on a walk with my boyfriend at the time, and this guy stops us and he goes, "Hey, Free Willy." And I was like, what? And then he pointed at my sweater and then just kept walking. Okay. But I think about that sometimes, so thank you. Thank you for bringing up that dear memory. He was like, hey! Like, hey, you! Like, really trying to get my attention. He just wanted to say, Free Willy. Thanks. It's a random... No, I accept any and all random questions. I love questions pertaining to, do you like this cool animal? Yes, I do. Ask me as many questions about animals as you like. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and ramble about the same thing for an hour and a half, and you're going to have to deal with it. So I will accept any and all random questions. Your favorite animal is a raccoon. I should have guessed by the name. That's an excellent... yes, a fine animal. Favorite animal is orca. Excellent choice. Yes, fine choice. Okay, I'm going to center these guys. My favorite animal is a river otter. Hands down. Love those guys. Okay. And then make the background white. There we go. Spy versus Spy. Basically a copy of the ref. But my style, like, mine's a little lankier, taller. I'm looking at the reference side by side with the final. I kind of, like, elongated them a little bit. I made everything a little taller, skinnier, pointier. Interesting. Huh. Alright. Well, that's that request. I actually really like doing that. That was fun. And let's do another canvas here. And I know I save... why do I do this? I save a note of like what I'm going to draw next on the previous canvas. Why did I do this to myself? I could just ask you guys. Pibby and Bun Bun, right? I remembered it this time. Pibby and Bun Bun. Pibby and Bun Bun. Okay, let's go Google. Alright. Pibby and Bun Bun. Show these characters to me right now. Oh, cute. They're cute. Okay. Okay, do we want them being cute, or do we want whatever's happening with, like, the creepy eyes or the, like, body of black digital glitch? Like, do we want that happen? I wish I knew anything about this cartoon now, where, like, I could figure out how to interpret them. Maybe we just go straight up cutesy, because, like, that's half the fun of these kind of things, is that they start super cute and wholesome and then turn whatever's going on there. Though the glitch effect does look kind of... I don't know how I'd even do that with brushes. I gotta watch this and then come back and then do the glitchy look, because I gotta figure out how to do that with brushes. There's gotta be a cool Procreate brush way to do a cool glitch effect like that. They're both hugging each other. Oh, let's do one where they're hugging each other. Oh, that's a cute reference picture on Pinterest. I like that pose. They're not glitching, they're hugging. Okay. Like normal. Okay, okay. I see. They're hugging. I did scroll down and see a cute picture of them actually hugging each other that looked like fan art. Okay. I want the actual art. As cool as the fan art is, I would like a still from the actual show. Screenshot. I just... Ooh, I almost knocked the whole mic over. DeviantArt fan art. Okay, that's a still from the actual show. That's what I'm looking for. Cool. Though this fan art looks like it's basically in the show's style, but the lines are a little bit thicker than the show. I'm just trying to find a full body reference. This fan art looks pretty accurate to, like, the proportions and everything from the screenshots I'm seeing, but I can actually see their feet. Oh, this screenshot works too. Okay. This is fine, and then I have this other one. Let me just pull up this ref and put it on screen. And then I'll actually draw. Okay. So we have a screenshot from the show that shows the proper line width. Then we have this fan art where you can actually see their feet. We're gonna go real cutesy wootsy with it. I want it to be like... I want it to look like a wholesome... Maybe I'll do like Disney style or something to make it super sickeningly cute. No, I don't want to remove video capture device. I want to remove image too. Thank you. Thank you, OBS. Okay, and then let's do image. Let's bring these reference images onto the canvas so you can all see them. We're going to do this one here. This one appeared to be a screenshot from the credits of the actual show. And then we're going to do second reference was fan art where you could see their little feet. Okay. Whoa, way too big. Okay. Let's put them over here. There we go. Beautiful. It's also stylistically accurate to the trailer. Okay, perfect. My favorite cat breed is Maine Coon. It's also my stereotype. Ooh, Maine Coon cats are adorable and fluffy. We used to have one named Harry. He was basically like a dog. We got him from my uncle. I think he had a bunch of barn cats and didn't need them, or so. I don't know what the deal was with Harry or how we acquired him, but he had big, beautiful green eyes, big, fluffy... Was he maybe a mix of something? Because do Maine Coons come in black, or are they only, like, multicolor? That's from the April Fool's Takeover. Am I... Maine Coon... Because he was, like, so dark brown that he was basically black. No, they do come in black. Okay. I didn't know if he was a mix of something. I don't know if he had the right ears for Maine Coon, but he had the fluffy chest, the, like, triangle tufts, like that, and the big fluffy tail. So he might have been mixed with something, but he was a barn cat that we just assumed was a Maine Coon. Anyway, he acted like a dog. He would live outside in the barn where my dad would work, and he would follow my dad to the mailbox like a dog would, and mind you, this is a long rural driveway. So he would, like, trot to the end of the mailbox like a dog would when my dad would come home, and he'd hang out with my dad in the barn, and he was the coolest. Harry was a cool cat. I'm in many color palette. I wasn't sure if maybe he was mixed with something in Maine Coon, because when I think Maine Coon, I think the like multicolor, like brown with black and all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's think of a really cutesy pose. I saw them hugging and I thought that was cute. And with the theme of like, I'm assuming glitching, hugging is like a thing with them. So maybe a super cutesy wootsy Disney style, like not even go on model, just, I don't know. Let me just brainstorm. Let me just sketch some stuff, and if you guys like it, you'll like it, and if you hate it, you let me know. But I kind of want to see if I can, like, really Disney-fy, like do these kind of eyes maybe? I don't know. I just think it would be a cute idea. Or little golden book style, like I've been doing. Where it's super, super cutesy. "95% of pet cats in America are mixed breeds, so it's likely your barn cat was a mixed breed, domestic long hair." Yeah, he was a mix of something, I'm sure. But I'm sure he was not a purebred Maine Coon cat. But he definitely, he had like the long hair of a big, and he was huge too. He was absolutely enormous. But he was a cool cat. And purebred Maine Coons are absolutely beautiful cats. Alright, let me just... Hold on. I'm going to start again because I want to do the shape of the whole pose before I get into the nitty-gritty of the face. I'm thinking too far ahead. I'm thinking Disney-style eyes, or like little golden book where it's like textured but maybe solid pupils, and I don't know. I'm thinking too far ahead. Don't do the details first. It's a reminder to myself. But we'll do like a really excited, like kicking the foot up in the air, squeeze, hug. It's such a happy bunny. Wrapping arms around too, like, oh, so cute. Lifted off the ground by the sheer force of the hug. Something really silly and cutesy. I think this is basically the pose I did for that, what's that other vet show I did the art for? Hold on, I'm gonna find it real quick. Is this not the exact same pose I did for what's her name? Where is she? Oh, she's probably hiding in the layer of some other thing I did. Oh, right here. Yeah, similar. Okay, I'm just doing a more exaggerated version. Okay, cool. I was like, at least I'm not copying myself. Let's move the head back so we get a little bit of like the cheeks squeezing on each other. I think that would be kind of cute. Like, oh, we're just such good friends. Maybe a little closed eye, and then this one's open. And bunny nose. I want some of the features of the characters so you can actually tell they're them. But we'll do big, long ears. The other ears gotta be longer. Like that. And little eyebrows like that. Wrap that bunny paw around. Little fluffy cottontail. Do I want to do like actual bunny legs to make it really like, or do I want to do the stumpy legs? Is it important to the characters that they're very simple, or is it just how they look? Because if it's important to their origin story or whatever, I won't mess with it. Maybe I'll keep it simple because the bodies are very simple. Because I don't want to do like human feet. I might do like a little squishy boot foot like that though. Like, hold up. I kind of like the squishy little boot foot, but just adds a little suggestion of a foot. Wait, are these legs about the same length? Close. Like that, maybe? Not super, super happy. Super squishy. And I want the mouth over here, like, yay! I don't know, this is a very, very rough sketch. I promise it'll get better. I'm just thinking. This is the thinking process. I kind of want to do a swoop of hair like that, but I don't know if that's overkill. I just want a little movement, you know? Oh, no, never mind. Because with the buns, it's going to be distracting. Maybe I'll do a little bit more texture on the buns or something. Okay, we'll keep the little bangs simple. Keep the eyebrows away from the bangs. Maybe just a different funky shape for the buns so they're not perfect circles. Yeah, I like that. It's kind of like Mickey Mouse, which might be an intentional choice. The silhouette. Going for classic cartoon character. I'm assuming it's some kind of tongue-in-cheek, self-referential thing, being an Adult Swim thing. But I haven't seen it. I'm just using my best guess. I could be totally wrong. I want this mouth to be a little cuter. Let me try again. Because I like that it's on the side, but it shouldn't be that exaggerated. I just don't want too much overlap with... Okay, that's a better shape. That's cuter. Okay. And we'll do kind of a gumdrop shape for the head so it's not a perfect oval. Just squishing and smushing and squeezing. Do this little arm wrapped around the bunny. Other little arm back here. And the bunny's got his paws wrapped around. It's fun doing fan art for stuff I have no idea about, especially if it's like some subversive, trippy Adult Swim thing with cute characters. It's like, this might be completely out of character for them. This could be like really funny to somebody who's aware of this show, you know, or the short rather. Because I don't know what goes on in this. This is like doing Happy Tree Friends fan art without knowing what Happy Tree Friends is. I might do that one day. I think next up is an orca, though. I think we're gonna do an orca next. Hold on, I'm gonna refresh my my YouTube stream. 1 second. Not the whole stream, but okay, it is muted. All right, there we go. I just saw my my video feed freeze. I had to make sure I was still good. There we go. I want the cheek squishing in a little bit here, just a little bit, because it's getting so smushed. Yeah, a little tooth sticking out, that's what we need. I think I will do bunny feet, but I want to make them small. Nice and small. There we go. I think that fits a little better with the character's short, stumpy little feet. We'll do stumpy bunny legs. Let's keep it cute. Okay. Very, very rough sketch done. I think this is enough information for me to do the shapes, but I want to clean up some things. So I'm going to do a second layer sketch, which I do sometimes when I need clarity on things. Like, oh, I also need, you know what, I'll just use this as my layer for doing the lines. Like this. Oh wait, I wanted to try that other brush. No, you know what, I'll do this for the details, dry ink, and then for coloring I'll do that other brush and see how it goes. I think that might be the winning combo. Alright, this will be a shape, but I'll do the pupils on top, and I'll do this as, oh no, I'll do that as a clipping mask later, never mind. Never mind, foiled my own plan before I even hatched it. Like that works for that eye. This is going to be a shape, tooth's going to be a shape. Just want a little line right here for the squish. These eyes will be clipping masks. Let's just do this mouth as its own shape on its own layer, or on this layer. Hello, how are we doing tonight? How are we doing on this fine Friday evening? Do eyebrows like that. I kind of want to add a little width to the eyebrows, even though in the reference they don't. They're just really simple. Just add a little bit of something something. Sorry, just got quiet. Dead air. That's how you know I'm in the zone. Just trying to make sure the shape of these is okay. You love watching these. I do an amazing job. Thank you so much. I also love to do art. Awesome. What are you working on at the moment? Do these little paw lines here. Do these little paw lines here. Do one line just where this leg overlaps the body. Do one little line where this foot overlaps the leg. I might have to change that shape in a bit. That's okay, we're gonna leave it right there. And let's do the ear, the inner ear. Oh no, we're gonna do that other brush. We're gonna switch to this brush for all the shapes. Make it a little smaller. Your stereotype is a black and white Maine Coon, since you also have an orca. Ooh, that's cute. Matchy matchy. That's cute. I like that. It's like cookies and cream. I was just talking about last stream, there was a seal that was blocking the road in England somewhere that I thought was a really funny news story. But he was a little cookies and cream colored boy too. That was cute. You're trying to find another good idea that you can post on IG, but also trying it out on new paint software. Ooh, what are you trying? I keep saying I want to actually deep dive and learn Illustrator inside and out every year, and I never get around to it, but they almost scared me into learning Illustrator when they sent out that email about Adobe Animate being discontinued. It's like, no, I have to actually learn Illustrator now? No, to do my vector cartoons? Absolutely not. I'll do it eventually. I've procrastinated learning anything new for a while. Are you asking me or JD Purple? My IG, I have two, for anybody watching. I think there's a link at the link at the very top of the screen that says alyssaaaron.com/tree for anybody watching who's curious. I believe that link will link to, I have two art Instagrams. I have one that's just like my favorite art, like cream of the crop, Alyssa Aaron Art, and then Alyssa Aaron Art Streams, which is I put everything that I draw and stream on there. For anybody who's curious. Illustrator's easy. I use it for, like, if somebody needs text around a badge or whatever, like, I do that. But my issue with Illustrator is there's no good freehand vector drawing tool that I like in it. Like, there's the blob brush, and you can download custom brushes and stuff, but I've always done that freehand vector stuff in Animate. And to me, using the paintbrush in Animate feels more like painting in Procreate, natural, smooth, than the blob brush or any other brushes I've tried in Illustrator. Like, I know how to do it in Illustrator, but it isn't fun for me. I need to make the process fun. So if they could just make a brush that works the exact same as the Animate brush for Illustrator, my life would be complete. But alas, they have not. And I've looked high and low. I've tried many different things to recreate my creative and process in Illustrator, but I haven't found a way yet. Let's see. Your Woodland Critter Crafts. I was wondering if y'all could give me feedback on my rough sketch. DM me it on Instagram, and I will check it out after stream. I will forget or delay the whole stream if I do it right now, but DM that to me, and I will check it out after the stream. I want this to be a bigger shape. There we go. That's better. And I just use random colors at first for anybody who's watching and thinking, why is she doing red when the buns are purple? It's because I figure that part out later. I just want the shapes down first. So I'm just picking any color that makes it easy for me to spot in the thumbnails later what layer is what. By going, oh yeah, that's the neon green one. Oh yeah, that's the purple one. That's the whatever. Do that on one layer. And I'll do a clipping mask. Do the hair like that. Yeah, I like this brush for coloring a lot more than dry ink. I think this might be the new strat. Chat, this is the new strat. Usually use Pixlr, but wanted to switch over to Fire Alpaca. Oh, I thought you were saying Fire Alpaca was your IG handle. I've never heard of Fire Alpaca. That sounds cool though. It wouldn't let me, so I tagged you. Oh, okay, I'll find it. Thank you. It's weird it wouldn't let you though. I've had people DM me on there before. Weird. Though when people DM me, sometimes it'll go to requests and not messages, so I'll find it like weeks later and I feel bad about it. Actually, this should be on top. Not a clipping mask. There we go. Yeah, I like this brush. It's got like a little crunchy edge to it, but it's not too much. It's only if you zoom in you really notice. Otherwise it just kind of looks smooth. I dig it. I do love my dry art brush, but you gotta change it up sometimes. You gotta try new stuff. And I also have, I'm thinking about Animate. I was like, there's very specific ways I work in Animate that I've tried to replicate in Illustrator and I can't, and it drives me crazy. Like when I color in Animate, I have a technique where like, I don't know, for example, say I had this shape in Animate and I wanted to do cell shading. There's ways to do it in Illustrator where you like use the shape builder, like you make a shape on top and then you use shape builder to cut it, whatever. But I like an Animate where, I'm going to do this on a new layer. I'd take the line tool, or the pencil tool rather, on a blob shape, whatever, painted shape, and I'd just draw that, and then I would use the fill bucket tool to fill in this whole area. Well, that's a bad example, but this whole area would be filled in, and then you just double click the line that you just made and it'll delete it, and you hit delete and then you have perfect sharp cell shading every time. Love that. And to me that's a lot easier than like the shape builder and all that kind of stuff you have to do in Illustrator to get the same look. It's just less steps and it's intuitive, and Animate, my sweet. If they ever actually make it impossible to access Adobe Animate, I will cry. I don't know. I love it. I use it not what it's intended for, but I love it dearly. I don't animate anything in Animate. I just do vector art because it's easier for me than in Illustrator. I guess this paw could also be on this layer. Let's do that. When would you use the sketch render taper brush? Sometimes I use that literally just for sketching. Just because it has a nice, I think this was from the Jing sketch set also. So if I just need to do like a quick, I like the chunky nature of it for sketching because you can get big ideas drafted up really quickly. Like, I don't know, I'm just drawing some lady right now, who cares, but whatever. You can fill up the whole canvas pretty quickly with the biggest size of this. This is like an 8.5 by 11 300 DPI canvas, and you can fill it up pretty quickly with this, so I like it for that. Oh, what did I just do? Why was I drawing that on the same layer as everything? What is wrong with me? Whoops, redo. I like it for just sketching, and I also like it for, because it has a nice tapered point on it, but it's really soft. So sometimes if I want to color stuff with the round render and I've got like a lineless look and I want to fade out, I like how faded you can, soft and faded you can get that. And if I need something tapered, it's kind of the same, where it's got kind of that similar faded grain to it. It's very soft. It's very similar texture to round render. So I think it pairs really well with round render if there's stuff you need a point for. So those would be like the two uses, is if you need a fine point on something, or if you just want to do a sketch and fill up the canvas with your sketch as quickly as possible. I really like it for that. And then 6B pencil I hardly ever use. I have this for very rare occasions where I want kind of the look of a mechanical pencil almost, with a very fine detail. This is also a Procreate default. I'm just going through my toolbox now. And Stickman is a rare one, but I like random color that it gives and a little bit of texture. That's fun. I picked the worst color ever for that, but let's pick a pretty color. Ooh, see, I like that texture. It's kind of giving Monsters Inc. doors a little bit, but I use that sometimes. Studio Pen is just a nice smooth pen. Like if you just need something smooth, crisp, it's good. Also default. I'm going through the list. Procreate default, Jing Sketch, Procreate default. This is just a modified Bona Bottrock to be bigger than the original. Procreate default. Dry Ink original, default, Jing Sketch, default. I don't know why I have two Nico rolls. I think one's just bigger than the other. Sketch Render is Jing Sketch. I believe Chalk is Jing Sketch. I use this one pretty rarely, but it's got a nice texture to it. It's really nice. Round Render original. I think this one's just bigger or something. I don't know what I did to modify them. Dry Ink one is just a smaller, tighter Dry Ink. Procreate. This one, this Wilbanks brush, was some other brush pack. Let me show you something funny though, is I went to go find out who made this brush, because I don't remember where I downloaded this from. You go to about this brush. Check out this profile picture of the guy who made this. This Adrian guy. What is that? Jump scare. But I do love this brush, so thank you to the guy with the scary taxidermied profile pic for making this for me specifically. You've been using the Procreate default brush library. There's a really nice brush in pastels called Overland. Ooh, let me go look at that real quick. We're doing a side quest here with the brushes, but I don't mind it. Where was that? In pastels. I never veer outside of my toolbox. I need to more. Where the heck is pastels? Do I need to like update my Procreate? Drawing, painting? Is it in painting? Overland. Can you like search for brushes on here? Oh, let's see. Pattern, star, wet media, dry media, Jing Sketch, sketching, inking, drawing, artistic. I might need to like update my Procreate. I don't even know what's going on with it. See all these like McToothy and all this? I don't use any of this. What am I doing with all these? I paid for so many brush sets I don't use. I don't use any of these ever. These foliage ones. I got these because they came with another set that I do use some from. I think, yeah, these grass and crayon. This crayon one is so good. I love this. Love them. Love that. But like 90% of these I've never used. I will never use. I have no use for it. Wet media, dry media. Where's pastels? Just follow me on IG. Thank you. If you hit the triangle, it should take to the double box thingy. Oh, I see the triangle. Back to libraries. I see. Oh, Procreate library. Okay. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I learn something new every day. Thank you. And then the brush is called Overland. Let me go find it. Let's use a nicer color. Like dark blue. Ooh, that's a really nice texture. Oh, and you can kind of fade it out on the edges like that too, and it's solid in the middle. I like that. Ooh, and it gets a little darker when you press. Let me try it with a different color on top. Ooh, that's pretty. It's got a, like, it feels very tactile, the texture. I feel like I could touch it with my fingers. I like that. It's a cool rec. Brush rec. We're doing brush recommendations. That's a cool one, though. Thank you. Back to libraries. Let's do... Oh, I need to clean up my library and just make it just... Oops all Alyssa's brushes and clean this up, because this is ridiculous. Look at how many downloaded... I gotta clean it up. You're here, sorry I'm late. You're good. You're good. Here's an idea. Draw characters with different levels of curly hair so you can practice the different kinds of digital brushes. Oh, not a bad idea. I might stay a little bit late because it is my last stream I'm doing before I go to the UK, so I'll stay like a half hour later than I normally do. Because I want to draw an orca. I'm going to draw these characters and then I'm going to draw an orca. You should use some of the extra brushes you haven't touched as tools for the backgrounds. I should use it for sketching. It's a good sketch brush, nice texture. Alright, back to work. I gotta get these done and I gotta draw an orca. Let's do it. Because I will stay a little bit later, but I don't want to stay too late because I'm hungry and I didn't eat. Because I make this mistake half the time when I stream. Alright. And these characters are Pibby and Bun Bun. This is just a request from somebody in chat. It's an Adult Swim short, I believe. But I'm not familiar with the characters. Like, many of the characters I sketch on the stream, I haven't seen the thing they're from. But it was a request, and the characters are cute, so I'm doing it. Speed round, yeah, exactly. We're doing a any percent art stream speed run. These characters should come together pretty quick. I'm not going to do any elaborate shading or whatever on them. I'm just going to do some quick Nico Roll texture stuff on them and noise. Oh, you're good. If I don't want to go on a side tangent, I simply will not. I am enjoying the side tangents. Do not feel responsible for the side tangents. I am solely responsible for everything that happens on this stream. It's my fault. I like sharing information about the brushes I use and stuff because I love when people come in here and like they say that like my stream inspired them to draw or they've never thought of using that brush before and they did something with that brush or whatever. Like, I love that. That's the whole reason I do these streams, because Lord knows I am not doing it consistently enough to get a following or anything. I just do it for fun sometimes. Okay, that's such a weird foot shape. What am I doing? Let's lift this foot off the ground a little bit. Okay, that way it looks kind of chunky and gummy and whatever. Whoops. I like this really chunky, like, heel. Oh, saying sorry is what you're best at because you're Canadian. I'm a Michigander, so close enough, you know. We go ope and sorry quite a bit. Michigander now living in Chicago. We're practically right down the road from each other. Or were. I'm not in Michigan currently, but... Americans don't say sorry, sometimes people don't deserve it. I say sorry, but I think that's the proximity to Canada, maybe. So Michigan's just, like, right there. So you just absorb some of it. I feel like some of the stuff I say sounds like when I watched Trailer Park Boys for the first time, the way they say car, like the A, I'm like, that's how I say car, like, get in the car. I'm like, you don't realize you sound like a Michigander until you talk to other people that are not from Michigan, and they remind you that you actually do have an accent. Especially my British friends are like, you sound very Midwestern. Like, I don't know what that means, but thank you. Question mark? Because to me, I have the default voice, but I think most people feel that way. Like, what do you mean? I don't have an accent, you have an accent. Say sorry, eh? Yeah. Just the Canadian way to be. I talk to these British guys that have very strong accents, and they don't think their accent's strong. Sure is. Like, I don't think I really have that much of an accent. What do you mean? What do you mean? Where's your trip taking you? I am going to the UK. I'm going to jolly old England and then making my way up to Scotland. And I'll be out there for about a month. I haven't booked my return flight yet, but I will. Working on it. Planning out the rest of my route and my trip. But it'll be a grand old time. I have a lot planned for London. Gonna be in Liverpool for a few days. It's gonna be a blast. You're like close to the American border, so it's like a mix. Yeah, and Michigan's pretty close to Canada. I mean, especially if you're in Detroit, it's just right across the water, but very similar. Something just fell off my side table. I don't know what it was. I'm not going to investigate. There's nothing breakable on there. That's a problem for me in about an hour. It's just something light. I just heard it. I think it's because my fan's going. If you're interested in sharing the different kinds of brushes you use, maybe you could have some kind of tutorial videos on your YouTube on how to draw with Procreate. I should make videos again in general. I keep saying I'm going to, and then I simply do not. But potentially another side quest for the rest of this year when I get back home. But I would love to do a video sharing like the stuff I do, the brushes I use or whatever. I'd love to just make it an all art channel, and just the whole thing of it is just inspiring people to draw. Everyone should draw, especially in the age of AI. Like, everyone should be exercising their creative muscle in some way, whether it's drawing or writing or making music or whatever that looks like, cooking a beautiful meal, you know, decorating a cake, whatever that looks like for you. Everybody needs to be doing something creative because that's what makes us human. We shouldn't lose it. So I think that'll be like what the point of the channel is. It's just like, no matter your skill level, whether you're one of these people that says, oh, I can't even draw a stick figure, like, yes, you can and you should. Everyone should be drawing. Like, everyone can cook, everyone can draw. It is a learned skill, and often choices that people make from a naive beginner point of view are more interesting than choices that I would have thought of. Like, I love children's art, unironically, like when they draw a tiger and it looks like it's got like a elephant skeleton and it's like messed up and blocky and chunky. Like, that's some of the most beautiful art I've ever seen, no joke. I love, like, quote unquote naive, crude, primitive, whatever art. I love it. It's incredibly beautiful to me. So I think everybody should be doing art, no exception. Is that Lake Erie wise, or like Ontario, or like Superior? Where I am is Lake Michigan, Chicago. Maybe you draw the different landmarks that you see in the UK when you get back. Yeah, just draw Big Ben and stuff. Draw all the Beatles museum stuff they have all over Liverpool. I'm gonna be in Liverpool for like a week. I'm probably not even gonna go to a single Beatles thing. Like, I like the Beatles, but I don't care to go to like a Beatles museum, you know? Like, whatever. Though somebody told me there's like a bar there that I should go to that used to be where the Beatles would perform before they like blew up. So I might do that. That's more interesting to me than going to like a museum where they have a bunch of cardboard cutouts of the Beatles. Like, I just don't care about that. Sorry, I'm seeing if I could find the name of that bar, but I don't know. I thought it was in my recent history. It is not. I don't know. Let's see. You just named the majority of the Great Lakes. Whoops, one more lake. Huron. You're Huron? Well, Michigan is all the lakes, you know? Michiganders do this thing. I almost did the Live Long and Prosper. If you've never met a Michigander, I hope this... Is this the right way for the stream? No, it would be this way, right? Am I crazy? It would be this way. I'm like, wait, am I mirrored or not? But they'll point to where they're from on their hand, because the state looks like a mitten. So, like, if I'm talking to somebody, I'd show them my hand and I'd go, my family's from, like, the thumb. I went to school out here in the west side, I also went to school down here, close to Toledo. So they'll point to their hand and show where they're from. Like that. And we'll do that and we'll think it's normal because we grew up doing that, and then we'll do that to somebody who's not a Michigander and they're like, you people really do that? Like, yeah, we do. I don't even think about it. When you get back, you have to draw the Beatles like they were in their cartoon show Yellow Submarine. Oh, that was a fun art style. I like that. Also, this looks terrifying. This has just been on the screen this whole time with these, like... they look terrifying. Okay, let me fix this. See, I'm going on tangents. You don't have to convince me to go on a tangent. I'm just going to go on a tangent. It's just going to happen. I feel like the eyes need to be squished and closer together like that. Yeah. Like that. Cute. Squished, almost crossed. Yeah, definitely. Cute! Okay. And then like this. You love being from the mitten. The Beatles song Yellow Submarine is your fave. It's a good song. It is the cutest shape for a state. You can't really do that with any other state. It is cute. Alright, we're gonna alpha lock all these layers. I don't think I'm missing a hand or anything. I think we're good. Alright, yeah. Let's alpha lock all these layers, bring up the opacity, change these colors, finish this, and then I'm gonna sketch. I want to sketch an orca in black and white before I leave. I mean, orcas are just black and white, so that makes it easy. Okay, alpha lock. Alpha lock. Alpha lock. Alpha lock. Bring up the opacity. We're gonna fix these horrible colors. Imagine I just leave it like this and I'm like, okay, goodbye everybody. See you in a month and a half. Okay, that looks alright. Alright. Now we're going bottom to top. Let's do the hair. It's like a bright purple, a little cooler than this. Like, but still pink. So like somewhere around here. Something like that color. We'll make the background a different color too. One sec. Let's make it something darker so I can see, because these colors are very bright. Let's do like a dark blue, like that. There we go. And then the body is like a periwinkle or like bluish, purplish, more blue than purple. A little lighter, perhaps. This was so fun and very informative. Thanks for all the tips. Gotta go, night. Thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping in and all the nice conversation. Did you know that in the UK they call their bays firths? That's where the Genesis song Firth of Fifth comes from. I did not know that. The more you know. I've learned all kinds of British lingo and slang, but I have not learned that one, so that's new. Much of it I cannot repeat on stream. The British are a very funny and foul-mouthed people. Alright, what are we going to do to differentiate these shades? I guess do like a little bit more... Do I want to do this for the shading color? Yeah, I like the texture this gives. It looks kind of like cardboard or like construction paper cutout, which I think suits the flatness. So I'm going to rock with that. And then for the arm, I wanted to do this, but then fade it into the darker color, just along the bottom. But make it like, I want to make it look like it got cut out with scissors or something, the shapes. With like kid scissors. Okay. Beautiful. And then we'll do a little bit of that shadow under the head here as well. don't like that texture it made though. Let's try again. I like that. That's better. This one, this head should be the same color. Vroom. And I don't want really a lot of shading on the head, but maybe just a touch over here. Just to not make it completely flat. Happy 30th anniversary for Pokemon and Polar Bear Day. Aw. Maybe I'll sketch a polar bear as well with the orca. They can be friends. Are polar bears and orcas friends? I don't think they are in real life, but they can be on a stream. They can be chilling out together. Why not? They're both huge predators of the ocean. They can swap tips for catching prey or something. I don't know. That's what they have in common. Villains of cold waters. We'll do the same hair color, but I want to make it a little bit darker and a little bit more bluish on the forehead. And then maybe highlight it with the real color at the top. And then I'll make it darker on that bun. So we'll do this darker color on the underside of the bun. I like this chunky shadow shape. We're gonna rock with that. It's like a square. A little bit. I like that. I like it like that. And we'll do the same over here. Chunky, chunky, chunky buns. There we go. Like that. I dig that. The Coca-Cola polar bears are so cute. They are. They're adorable. Maybe I'll have an orca and a polar bear hanging out drinking a Coke together. I don't know. Just a cute little black and white sketch. That could be cute. What am I doing? Okay, this hand needs to be... I'll just make it the darker color there. And then Bunny is easy because he's white. We're going to use like a purpley, bluey color for the shadow color. Maybe make it a little bit darker. Right there. There we go. Sorry you're late, you're good. I'm going to stay a little bit longer because I want to do another piece of an orca and a polar bear, I think. It's funny how most of the greatest rock bands in history are British. I think there's a rock and roll museum in Liverpool, I think, that's not just Beatles. Because I don't want to go to one that's just Beatles. Like, I'd rather go to one that's, like, more rock-oriented. I think I remember seeing that because I was looking on Google Maps for like stuff to do in Liverpool because I'll be there for a few days. And I think I saw like a rock and roll museum close to the water, which would be cool. I keep getting this error message that says YouTube is not responding, but I think that's just for functionality of displaying chat on OBS because it seems like my stream's still going, but I don't know. I'm sure you guys would let me know if it was having issues, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just not going to worry about it. Alright, this nose needs to be pink. The eyeball does not need to be... What do I do about the eye, though? This is the dilemma now. Do I do blue and then shade it to be white? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Dilemma solved. We're going to use the chalk brush for this. This is a good time to use the chalk brush because we want some definition around the outside of the eye. And I don't want to add outlines around it because I don't want to do that for this. So we're going to do this instead. And this will still read as a white eye, but it's like... I don't even think it needs the inner corner, really. No. Hold on. Does it need the inner corner? No, I kind of like it without. It's just simpler. We'll do that. I dare you to draw the Pokemon Primarina for the girls watching the live stream. It's a water and fairy type. Maybe on a different stream, I might. Cubchoo and Beartic are Pokemon and polar bears. Oh, I could do them someday too. I think I want to, I see it in my mind's eye something a very simple, cutesy, minimal, like polar bear on an iceberg, and then maybe an orca popping out of an iceberg, or like sitting on, like, on an adjacent one, and they're like sharing a Coca-Cola or soda together. It'll be maybe just like a pop of red on the labels or something. No, I don't want it to look like an ad for Coke, but I like the idea of them having like a soda together and hanging out. It'll be generic soda that is definitely not Coca-Cola. Wink, wink. Okay, and the mouth on her needs to be the same color as her hair. I was gonna say skin. Her hair. I can't be yawning. It's not even 9 o'clock. Get it together. Come on, get real. We're gonna use maybe this darker color. Yeah, that's better. Maybe just like that. No, just all dark. Or 90% dark. There we go. Looks better. And then the inside of the ears should be the same pink as his nose. Thank you for the hearts, by the way, whoever's sending hearts. I appreciate it. I haven't made mention of it yet, because I don't know why, but I noticed it. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see it. Alright, some pink in the ears. And I think that does it. This is, Pim and Bun Bun? How did I forget already? Pibby and Bun Bun. Pibby and Bun Bun. I was thinking Pim from Smiling Friends. Pibby and Bun Bun. And there we have it. Let's do a layer of noise, because I like doing that on everything. This is the salt. This is the seasoning. You need this on everything. It just adds a nice little bit of warmth to everything. Look at that. Beautiful. Just a little bit of, it's like confetti. Beautiful. And there we have it. So 2 pieces completed on stream. And then I want to do a real quick, let's remove these. Ta-da! So I did this one so far. I did Spy vs. Spy earlier. And then let's do, there'll be 2 black and white pieces today. Let's do this orca and polar bear. I have a vision for how it looks. We're going to make the background gray. I'll change it back to white, but look how scary the lighting is when I do white. I hate that. It's like telling scary stories at the campfire. Spooky. Ghoulish. Let's do that. So I have an idea of how I want them to look, but we'll see how it... Oh, the Aurora Borealis. Oh, maybe that'll be the background. It's just a real simple, simplified Aurora. Cute. If you disappear, it's your internet's fault. You're good, you're good. I kind of wanted to do it just black and white, but we'll see how I feel. Let's do... Where'd my other window go? New window. Orca. Oops. Oh, if you're talking about my sister, her internet's always going out. That's not new. When you live in the middle of nowhere, your internet. Whale on iceberg. Or whale on land? I want to see, like, orca. Oh, I guess the pose I'm thinking of is very, like, you know, when they do, like, SeaWorld shows and they're like that. But maybe I don't want to promote, like, a pose that only happens when, like, trainers train them to do that. Like, it's a cute pose for a picture, but I don't want to evoke SeaWorld imagery. So I might do something else. Let me think. You're sending hearts. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's another cute pose I can do for an orca? Art is somehow better than the original designs. Thank you. It's a nice compliment. I appreciate that. So I didn't want to do just the orca head popping out of the water, but that might be the move. Oh, maybe I'll have it like partially underwater view, and then you can see like the rest of the iceberg underneath. And then there's like a polar bear, big polar bear on top. Maybe he's handing. Let me just sketch this idea out in my brain. Maybe that'll help. Handing a sody pop. He's floating on top of the water, and here's this big old iceberg. I don't know. I'll make a cool looking iceberg. It won't look this cruddy. But maybe we set the horizon. Ooh, we'll put the horizon up here. Because here's a thing I've heard before. When you're taking a photo or drawing or whatever, or a movie, I think this was in reference to movie composition. So imagine this whole thing is a movie frame. And we've got a cactus here. I'm doing another tangent because I feel like it. And here's the horizon line, right? Like, okay, a shot in a movie is interesting if the horizon is down low. And a shot in a movie is interesting if the horizon is up high. But if you put it right in the middle, it's boring. It's one of these like rule of thirds things, but like it's common sense. But I need to think about composition more when I'm drawing. So I think maybe putting it up high like this is kind of interesting. Maybe if I turn it, I could make it very tall and skinny too. Hold on. Let me just sketch out the rest of this idea. So we've got big chunky iceberg. Maybe we have like penguins or fish or something swimming around it to make it interesting. I don't want to get too complicated. I don't want to be here all night. Okay, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Orca. Orca receiving treat. Okay? This is the idea. And I want to be able to see the whole orca. I don't want just the head, because that's no fun. Somebody asks for an orca, they don't want to see just the orca head, they want to see the whole orca, right? Am I right or am I right? So I want to see the whole orca. And then let me look up iceberg to see what kind of cool shape I can make with the iceberg to make it interesting. And maybe just have a couple of fish around it or something, I don't know. And then maybe a couple chunks of ice to add a little depth floating in the water on top. And maybe this can just be all faded too. But I want to be able to see the orca. Maybe I'll, you know what I'll do? When I've drawn it, I'll just take the brush that's like a smudge and just like do that a little bit. No, that'll smudge it too much. I have an idea. Warp. No, warp doesn't let you like go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Whatever. I'll keep it simple. I'm getting too complicated. I have too many ideas. Okay. Slant the horizon. No, I like it like I like this, like, but let me try something though. If I do it vertical, maybe I make a tall iceberg, and then I get more room. Oops. I just went the most roundabout way possible to do that. Okay, if I crop it in, I want to see the whole orca. Okay. I think this is better. But we'll put the horizon like up here, maybe? Just not the dead center, because that's boring. That's too low. So we'll do it like up here. And we'll move the orca in and make it bigger, like here. So I want this orca to take up a good amount of this canvas, because orcas are huge. They're huge beasts. So maybe something like this, with the orca coming out of the water, like big and bold. And then I want the polar bear to be hunched over, because he's also very tall for a bear. And then handing over a sody pop. And then bring this in a little bit. When he's sitting on an iceberg. And then, let me look up iceberg cartoon. I could make it really simple. Oh yeah, I kind of like how this one's stylized, where it's just like, it's almost like diamond shapes. Though that's getting into like lineless, so maybe I keep it really simple and just keep the shape funky and fresh. Yeah, just make it like a cool funky shape like that. I'll keep all this stuff out of it. Alright, and then polar bear. Cartoon, polar bear. This will come together quick because I'm keeping it black and white. We're keeping it simple. Side view. Not cartoon polar bear. Just show me a polar bear from the side. Okay. Getting warmer to what I'm looking for. Okay. Okay, that's a good side view. Okay, side view sitting. Show me a sitting polar bear from the side. Okay, that's better. I like how they're so... Oh, this one's cute. This one's perfect. Great. Okay, and then orca in a new tab. Orca. Okay, that's a good picture of orca. I'm gonna have to make the fin a little short to fit in the frame. I guess it could stick out of the frame, but that's... Maybe that'll show the scale of it more if it's so big it barely fits in the frame. That might be a move, too. Okay, we're gonna deliberately have this thing bust out of the frame a bit. The fin is gonna bust out of the side, and then maybe the tail fin, the edge of it, to make it look really huge. I think that might be the move. What flavor of soda are they having? I don't know. What do you think they should they be having an off-brand Coke, or what do you think? Alright, this whale. Let me see if I can simplify that orca. That little nose at the end. A little toothy smile. Do I keep it simple and I don't have teeth? If I don't have teeth, it doesn't look like a killer whale. Maybe I'll just put a couple on the bottom. I don't know. Maybe I'll just make it really cute and wholesome. And you can't necessarily see that he's a killer whale. He's just an orca. He's just so cute. Layer effects to simulate distortion of light and water. I don't know if I'm going to get that detailed with it. I think I'm just going to put, like, I'm going to get, it's going to be very minimal, like black and white. Kind of like the Spy vs. Spy. That's a good idea if I was to, like, fully render it, though. I just want something simple and cute. So how do I want to display the iceberg? Maybe I just do this. And a couple, like, reflection chunk pieces here. And then this is like... This will get faded out. Like, I want to semi-erase this to fade. Ooh, I use the chalk brush like that. Maybe that's how I'll show that it's underwater, is I'll just fade it with the eraser. Okay. We're gonna make everything angular and funky and fresh because that's what I like to do. I'll make the eye. I guess the eye would be here, right? Or am I crazy? Let me look up. Work a cartoon. How else are people handling the eye situation? Okay, yeah, they're putting it where I put it. Okay, I was right. I was right. My instincts were right. Okay, the placement is more or less right, but what I did with it, looks-wise, is terrible. So let's fix that up. I kind of want to do just a little beady eye like that. And I want to put it within the white part so you can actually see it. Which I know is not how orcas work, but, like, I want to be able to see the eye. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to exaggerate the mouth a bit. And the head shape, or the head size. Or you know what, I don't even have this. Maybe I don't even have it, maybe it's just this. And you can't even tell that he's got an eye or not. Because that's how orcas look, like you can't really see their eye. Or for another solution, because I do want the body to be solid black, except for the parts that are not black. I want solid black and white, so maybe I'll make the eye white, and it's just past the limit of this. So I want all of this to be black. The fin's gonna stick right out. Oh, but I want it to be cute though. Okay, I'll figure it out. Is that cute? No. It's tricky. Because you want to have like a cute little beady-eyed orca. I'm really limiting myself for no reason. It doesn't need to be solid black and white. I just want it to be. I want it to be. Because I think that will look cool. Because I did that spy versus spy and now I've got black and white on the brain. Let me do the rest of it first and then figure out the eye situation later. The eye is a very small part of this. But I'm just sketching this out real quick. I want this like this. And then we want a nice big whale tail. That's busting out of the frame here because it's so big. And then got a fin right here. I just like the idea of doing it all black and white, you know? I think it sounds cool, it looks cool. High contrast. Then all this will be faded by the chalk brush when I get to it. Slant this toward the back like that. I kind of want the water to be just like a straight up level line like that too, like very simple, very minimal. The iceberg I don't want to be black, that's too confusing. So we'll just leave it a thin line like that. Now the polar bear, white powder on top of the iceberg, it's supposed to be snowing. Yeah, I could do snow too. I think I might do snow like with this, you know, real simple outlines of snow. Keep it real cutesy. And yeah, I could do a rendered version when I come back. I might want to work on other things when I get back, but we'll see. And this little polar bear. I'll make him real simple. I don't want too much fuzz and fluff, but just enough to show that he's a furry bear. And I want him to have a beady eye for sure. Because it's cute and simple, just the way I like it. He's got a happy eyebrow, so you know he's happy to share. I kind of do want teeth. I don't know. We're going to leave it. Stop overthinking things. Just do. Just make. Let me get the nice paw wrapped around the soda pop. It's a very big bottle of soda pop. But whatever. A big silly, I guess it would be like a 2-liter, because polar bears are so big. He's got a 2-liter of not Coca-Cola. Of generic cola brand. And then his back kind of goes, it's like he's got this long neck, got like 2 tufts of fur here for the shoulder, and then it's like this, and then dip. That. Something like that. Okay, this is very rough, but I think it's a concept, it's a vibe. It's a rough skeleton of something that could be much better, but I'm going to clean it up as much as I feel for this stream. Okay, this is clearer. Okay, it's a decent composition. There's something to this. I think this could be something really good if I wanted to put more time into it. But for now, it is just an idea. I think it's alright. Maybe I can make the iceberg gray. I think having one shade of gray is acceptable instead of just black and white. Oh, the whole water can be gray. And then that solves the issue of black and white. All the water can just be one big block of gray as an overlay. Or no, I got a better idea. Hold on. Hold your horse. I got an idea here. First of all, delete this. New layer. We're going to use this. We're going to use this super dark gray for now. I'm going to change it probably. This will be the background, and then we'll do a clipping mask of... We're going to do the orca, and then I'm going to copy all the stuff that overlays the water and put it on top of the water as a clipping mask. And same with the iceberg. I think this will work well. I can see it. I can see the vision. Okay. Now we're just going to do random color. Doesn't matter. We're going to change it to white or something. I don't know. Dark gray. Just get this iceberg shape in here. Let's just do all the underwater stuff. We'll do it a little bit overlapping because it doesn't matter because it's going to be a clipping mask anyway. So we'll do that. And then we're going to do the orca on a new layer for now. We want the outline. I worked at Epcot, correct? Yes, I did. Would you like to visit European theme parks like Europa Park in Germany or Efteling? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I was supposed to go to Alton Towers on this trip to the UK, but it is not coming to pass, which is very annoying for me. But maybe next trip, because I do want to go back. And I want to save up enough money that I can literally just do a solo theme park Europe trip. Because if I take somebody along, they're going to be like, oh, I want to see this, I want to see that, No, I want to go to theme parks. I want to go to Europe just to see theme parks. And you can't shame me out of that because you want to go to XYZ thing. It's the beauty of solo travel. Unless I make a good friend with like a roller coaster enthusiast or something who also would be down for that. But a future trip for sure, because I could spend weeks at the various theme parks around Europe and have an absolutely amazing time. There's still a lot in America I want to go to, too. I never got to go to, what's the one in California? Magic Mountain. I never went to, what's one with the berries? Am I thinking of? I don't know. There's another theme park in California I never got to go to. Knott's Berry Farm. Because at the time I was dating someone who did not like roller coasters. So we just did not go to places with roller coasters. Never again. That is absolutely a red flag. You must love roller coasters. How do you not? It's so fun. So yeah, there's a lot of roller coasters and theme parks I'd love to go to in America still, but also very much would love to see all the theme parks in Europe. I'm bummed about Alton Towers, though. I really thought I was going to be able to do that on this trip, but it's just not going to come to pass. My ride doesn't want to go anymore, basically, and it's incredibly annoying to get there on the train. It's one of the places in the UK that's tough to get to on the public transit. It'd be like 6-hour round trips. I'd have to spend like multiple days there and spend an overnight at like a hotel by there to make it worth it, and it's like, I got other stuff to do on this trip, so it's not high priority. Whatever. Next time. I want to ride the Smiler. I want to ride Oblivion. I've seen so many like best theme parks in Europe videos or whatever. Like, I'm ready to go to all of them tomorrow. I need somebody to just do a fly me out, but instead of taking me somewhere tropical, you just fly me out to like Efteling something. Europa Park. I want to go to what's the other German one? Phantasialand really badly. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with the eye. Ugh. I kind of like it without the visible eye, to be honest. Because it's kind of like just what orcas look like anyway. So, like, I'm not mad about that. I'm just going to leave it. It's my art. I like it. I'm just going to leave it alone. And let me do this for the iceberg. That red layer underneath is going to be a clipping mask soon, so it's fine. That's right on top of the water there. Okay. Read Shivering Timbers at Michigan's Adventure. I rode that years ago. It is pretty rough. Michigan's Adventure in general is not, like, a great park. That's, like, the only ride worth riding, and it's not good. If you want a Midwest theme park worth it, go to Cedar Point. That is roller coaster mecca. I have not been on the new Top Thrill, or, what's the new one they just did? Siren's Curse yet, because I haven't been in a few years. But killer theme park. Awesome, awesome, awesome coasters. It's the only thing worth doing in all of Ohio. Yeah, Michigan's Adventure is like off-brand theme park. It stinks. Water slides. Yeah, there's water slides, but there's a water park. There's a whole water park at Cedar Point, and Cedar Point's actually good. So, not very Michigander of me to say this, but take your money to Ohio. If you're thinking theme parks, just go the extra distance. It's well worth it. It is the only thing worth anything in Ohio. The rest of the state could be a parking lot, as long as they kept Cedar Point in place. I had a nightmare getting there, though. This is my rant about Sandusky, Ohio, lack of accessibility into Cedar Point. First of all, Cedar Point is the only thing in Sandusky. Like, that's barely an exaggeration. There's a couple restaurants. They're very bad. There's a bar where they do karaoke. It's terrible. It's the worst karaoke and one of the worst bars I've ever been to in my life. The place stinks. And they have, like, 2 taxi services because there's no Uber drivers there because it's not a big city. It's just a nothing place. There's nothing there except Cedar Point. So Uber drivers are not hanging out around there. And you can't go into Cedar Point without a car. You can't just walk there. It's like a bridge and it's car access only. You can't bike there, you can't walk there, and none of the hotels in the area offer a shuttle except for one of the 3 or 4 hotels owned by Cedar Point. And me and my boyfriend at the time were not staying there. And we took the train into Sandusky, Ohio. We didn't take a car. So how did we get into Cedar Point? We called one of the 2 cab companies who may or may not show up. Completely sorry, I'm spiking the audio. I'm far away from the mic. I guess I'm getting loud. You'd call them, and it would be like a 50-50 chance whether they'd even show up at all. And then when they did show up, the one time one showed up from one company, the car was completely totaled. The whole front of the car was totaled. So I'm like, this isn't a good omen to get into a taxi cab that's completely destroyed. And then we got a ride with one lady who was like the only Uber driver we were able to get in contact with. Because we kept like holding up our phone like, Uber, save us, because these cab companies are terrible. We got an Uber driver, and then she was our transport to and from. We were there for like 3 nights or 4 nights or something. She was our transport for 2 nights to and from Cedar Point because she gave us her business card, and we like lined up rides with her. It was great. And then when we needed her to get home on the last night to get her home to the hotel, calling and calling and calling and calling, never picked up. The cab companies are not picking up. So we had to get into somebody else's cab that was one of the 2 cab companies that we were calling. It had their company name on the side of the van. We had to hop in somebody else's van and beg them, like, please, our hotel is only like 1.5 miles away. Please, we could walk there if we could, but we can't. It was terrible. So either bring a car or stay in the one hotel that has shuttle service. And that's my rant about Cedar Point and Sandusky, Ohio. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's ridiculous that they don't have a land bridge into Cedar Point that you can walk into. There's dozens of hotels right outside the gates that are less than 1 mile from the front gate. It's ridiculous that they can't let you just walk in there or bike in there or whatever. Or that all the hotels don't offer a shuttle or let you use the main shuttle at the one Cedar Point hotel. It's ridiculous. Like, what do international travelers do? They have to rent a car just to stay in stinky Sandusky, Ohio? What a joke. Like, You can't just get dropped off somewhere, spend a nice weekend at a theme park, and then take the train out or what, like, craziness. It's crazy. Even if you have a bike or an electric scooter or anything, they won't you can't come on the road. Silliness. I went to Disneyland all by myself years ago, flew out to LA and took the shuttle from the airport to Disneyland and was able to get in and around Disneyland Resort to my hotel, to the airport, everything. Only had to call an Uber from Disneyland to my hotel, I think, but everything else was shuttles. Very easy. Everything should be like that. Why isn't everything like that? It's ridiculous. Alright, we're going to copy and paste this orca. Duplicate. And then we're going to put this one as a clipping mask. So now what we're going to do is raise the opacity of this, hide the sketch layers. We're almost done, folks. We're going to paint all this stuff black for right now and then probably change it. Whoops. Well, this should be black. All of it. And then it's a layer underneath, so I might have to redo it. We're gonna make all this black. We're gonna make this water. Okay, first of all, we're gonna make the background white. White. We're gonna make this background first of all. We're gonna bring it up a little bit so that it fits under the iceberg there. Beautiful. Does that make it not even? Whatever, it's fine. We're going to make this a lighter gray. Then we're going to make the iceberg a slightly darker gray. Just ever so slightly, so you can tell that it's underwater and it's a form there. And then we're going to do the same, hold on, I have an idea. What do? How do I attack this? Delete that. I think if I delete this... what do you think of Hershey Park? I have not been, but it looks really fun. I would go one day. Sky Rush looks really fun to me. People say the restraints on that are uncomfortable, but I don't know, I'm sure I'd live. But it looks super fun. Scary fun. A Rush, hence the name. And then this should be the same, where it's underwater. There we go, I did it! I figured it out. Super simple. Almost entirely black and white with a hint of grayscale. Simple. And I could do a more rendered version of this with the aurora and snow and stuff, but I think for what I wanted to do and just keep things very minimal, I like it. You know what? I might change the gray to blue though, just to make it... I wanted it grayscale, but I kind of want to have an Arctic feel, and I think blue will capture that better, so... We're gonna do like a teal maybe. Ooh. Crispy, bright. A little bit more like that. And then AC crispy bright water. Daytime. And then do this blue, but maybe a smidge darker. There we go. That's crispy and fresh. I like that. I'm happy with that. It's a fun idea that came to life. There we go. Like the line widths on the polar bear maybe could be a little thicker or whatever, but I'm happy with it. I think it's a cool idea. I hope you have a fun time at Hershey Park, by the way. That sounds like a lot of fun. Alright, I'm happy with that. I'm just going over in my mind what I did today. So we did the orca and the polar bear. We did Pibby and Bun Bun. And Spy vs. Spy. This was fun to work on, too. This is good. This was such a good little last stream before I take off for the UK. I will see all you beautiful people end of April, probably. And I hope to be more consistent with streaming. I'd like to do 2 or 3 times a week and actually start making YouTube videos, and I have all these big lofty goals, but we'll see what actually happens when I get back. But thank you all so much for watching, tuning in. I'll post all this stuff on the Instagram as soon as I get something to eat. And I'll see you all in the next one.